Hey everybody, so we're coding along and we're dealing with some moving scene stuff over, and it's becoming very clear that I really had a big miss early on in the architecting of this. Um, it's first, I guess before I get started with that, let me get rolling. Let me just show you this cool animation I made. Basically, the camera starts at -10 on the X position, and it kind of goes to +10 over 10 seconds. And then there's like four walls, and then they kind of create like a window, and then I have like a spotlight, and the spotlight is kind of showing around the edge, and then you can see what I call a treasure in there. And the treasure is just rotating around the X, Y, and Z axis. So I think that's pretty cool. I don't know, something that might make it cooler is to add another light. Uh, so I'll just name this one Spot Light. And then I'll add another light just to make kind of the this guy a little brighter. Um, make the gold. So this one is a what is it? I don't know, a point light. And let me just make it a little closer to the. Oh, anyway, I want to make it closer to the um, treasure. And I think another cool effect is that you can kind of see the depth of the walls now, which you could not see that before when we had when we didn't have it. So like if the spotlight is not visible, I wonder if I can change its intensity to 0. Yeah. So now you can't see it. It's like because the only light is around the outside and then what's going through. But then if I make its intensity to 1, now you can see these edges. And, that's just like some of the cool stuff that 3JS brings to you. I guess another fun thing would be to. So I had a little extra time because I just am not feeling well. Um, the I think I might be. I don't know. I might have the COVIDs. I'm not sure what exactly. So I made the left wall sort of more thick. Um, so let me try the other walls and see what we get if we make those thick too. Not sure. A lot of people where I work have been staying home, homesick, and I'm definitely feeling homesick, and it's kind of weird. Like I think the biggest, like I feel tired, but I think the biggest sort of what do you call it symptom is that I feel just really grumpy. Like things bug me that usually wouldn't bug me very much, and it's just I don't feel well, and yeah, I just want to. And my boss, like I saw, because we have some, ways of talking. I saw that he actually came, because I actually went into work for a couple hours, and then I just was going downhill fast. And the drive, because I drive from Atlanta to Marietta, the drive's pretty intense. So I didn't really want to try to do that. Like when I was really really sick, if I just went downhill throughout the day. Um, but yeah, in general, I do have a bit of a headache. But in general, I'm okay. Like when I've had COVID in the past, I was really really sick, but this time I just am like just not a happy camper, and all that. I don't know about tomorrow. I feel like I'm getting a little worse as the day goes on, so I'm not sure. I'll definitely try to do a video tomorrow unless I'm like deathly ill. Unfortunately, I do have a couple videos I had. So today is Wednesday for me, and this video won't go out till Friday. And then, you know, so if I feel too bad tomorrow, I won't do it. But anyway, so I think that's cool. Um, I see. Let's do. I think yeah, this is the floor, so it might be cool to just like have like a really thick floor, so like a 10. And so now it's kind of like a doorway where there's a treasure back there. Um, and I wonder if I now if I take the point light and I make its intensity 0. No, that's intensity 10. So yeah, that's something right there. Uh, let's see. Now we don't have any intensity, so all we see are is the spotlight and its effects. So I'm just gonna leave that at 1 because I think that is the coolest one. All right, so now I think the only actual function that I'm gonna move over is going to be I believe it was update. Um, and I think it is just like kind of part of it is getting moved over. Now, I was kind of going back and forth with myself about like, okay, so should I wait on in this round? Should I kind of split out? Um, so yeah, kind of at the beginning I was kind of alluding to see like if you look at these three, this is a ThreeJS specific thing, and um, and that's it. And then this is like what I would call a Showtime thing, and then this is a list of Showtime things. So this is a list of ThreeJS specific things. Let's go ahead and put our semicolon in there. This is a specific Showtime thing, and then so we're kind of taking what used to be one concept, which was our these Showtime things and the ThreeJS things, and splitting it into two concepts, which really, like, if you were to go back and look at the original videos, like that wouldn't even make sense then, um, because there wasn't enough of a conceptual departure from the two concepts. They were very similar. And like I can imagine down the road saying, wait, this is actually two concepts down here. These guys are the form stuff, the stuff that's for the form, and then this is also the stuff that's for, you know, the writing or what's going to be updated into ThreeJS. But in the future, it won't just be ThreeJS. It'll also be into a physics engine and into a music API and things like that. So the thing is right now there just isn't enough disparity between the concept of what is going to be written into ThreeJS and what is being used to drive these forms. There's not enough disparity to make those into two separate concepts. So it would just be weird to split that into like a forms thing and then like a ThreeJS thing because they would be identical. Um, so there will be like probably the perfect day for splitting those things out, but that day is not today. And I think that we might be at the perfect time to split out the ThreeJS stuff from the Showtime stuff, but or they might have already come and passed. Like that might have been the best time, and and but like I do want to I want this application to scale to much bigger than it is. So this current architecture has to be retooled, or alternatively, I can start a new application from scratch, start writing code from the very beginning, with from the beginning splitting out this concept, these two concepts from each other, and having uh, like a service that interacts with scenes in ThreeJS exclusively, and another service that interacts with uh, Showtime stuff. At this, I don't think it's going to be too terrible to split those out for scenes, but it could end up being a real nightmare for some of the bigger services, or maybe not. Um, But I do think that probably the next thing I should do is probably split out those scenes. And basically, when that's done, basically under service there'll be utils, and then a three, and then a three directory, and a Showtime directory, and then this will be in the three directory, and then these two will be in the Showtime directory, and then this there'll be something like this. There'll be a setup scene in the three version that takes a scene item and updates the scene for that, for the scene item, and then maybe in the other one there'll probably just be like an update, and there won't be a setup. There's probably no reason for a setup in those other ones, but basically those concepts should. Well, I'm gonna split those concepts out, and I don't think that there's anything in scenes that really forces that split, or even like that makes that split necessary. But I do think in the other services it is necessary. And I think that ThreeJS service should be renamed to manager service, and then animation service will probably be renamed to animation manager service. Um, and that's just sort of my way of saying, hey, like these guys shouldn't actually do anything. They should just manage others that do things. So, anyways, that's sort of the long-term shift um, in architecture. The bad news is that that probably means that we're going to it'll be slower to add new features, which is kind of a bummer. The good news is I don't actually work for anybody on this, so I don't have to worry about um, I don't have to worry about getting in trouble, because I definitely would not want to try to. I moved the little light above there, so now you can see the shadow below that. I think that does look more like a thing. But yeah, so I don't have any manager or anything to try to explain this to. Um, these are very, very difficult conversations in a professional environment. Generally, a lot of times the manager can't quite understand what you're talking about, and then they have to try to then explain it to like a director, who then is going to have to try to explain it to a vice president, and all of them are here. All they're hearing is, "Hey, this guy's got this abstract reason why it's going to take us longer to do it." Alternatively, and that's probably why it's easier just to say, "Hey, this was a proof of concept, all right," and it was not built to be architecturally scalable. It was built to be a proof of concept, and that's what you have here. And that's just the way it is. And they I guess you shouldn't say that it's just the way it is, but I think that directors and those guys generally understand the concept that it's not what that the it wasn't really built to be it wasn't really built to be a a viable product. So we should start all over and just do that. So I think it would be a lot easier to, instead of say, hey, yeah, we're going to continue working on this, but it's going to give us a 3 week slip while we're trying, one or two sprint, um, one or two sprints to refactor. Um, and it's a lot easier to say, okay, yeah, no, okay, so we declare victory, we won, yay, and now we're going to start working on the actual project, because we've proven that XYZ things work. Um, that's a little easier of an argument to have. So, anyways, without further ado, I'll do that. I'm probably letting this video go longer than normal because, well, one, I'm sick. Come on, guys, I'm sick. And number two, I have a little more time because I was kind of just sitting around watching Netflix all day. with me and my lovely wife who streams every single day, and that's kind of how she kind of she really helps out with paying the bills and stuff like that, and she does that with her business, and she actually didn't go live either because she's been what were they call I think they were calling her a grumpy pants or something like that, and yeah, it just was not good for her business. um, and Okay, so we definitely are doing that in here. We're managing we're updating and interacting with the scene item uh, property, and then yeah, we would definitely update the scene items from here. That would definitely be a behavior for this, but publishing is definitely going to be a manager job. And at one point, we probably will pull that into its own area too, like make publishing a standalone thing. Um, so at this point, I think it makes sense to update to call the setup scene, and then um, we do not want to do any of this here. Now, over here, that shouldn't affect anything because we're not doing anything. We're going to call this dot scene service dot setup scene. And it's kind of interesting. Okay, I guess I do need to pass the scene item. Oh, it's not. That's the wrong thing. Update scene. Update scene. Okay, and then I'm going to pass in the scene item. Okay, and then we don't want to do this or this here. We definitely want to publish. From there, we don't need to call the setup scene again because we actually set up the scene in there. Um, and then publishing after the setup might have been a mistake in and of itself. So I think that should work. Let's see. Add a mesh. Yeah, I feel like that's good enough. That proves that the scene worked. I guess we should look in the console and just make sure there's nothing weird in there. Yeah, so that's good. Um, I think that will do that for today. Um, I don't think there's anything else to move into the scene service. Um, so I think tomorrow what I'm going to do is create two new services. One that's going to be in a ThreeJS folder and one that's going to be in a Showtime folder. And then I'm going to create and it's going to be TS scene service and for ThreeJS scene service, and the other one will be ST scene service. And then I will tease these two pieces apart. I don't think there'll be a setup scene. Setup scene will take the scene item, the TS one. So just this will exist in the TS one, and then this will exist in the ST Showtime one. So ThreeJS one will have this, and then I'll pass this thing in, and it'll do the updates, and then update scene doesn't look like we need to do anything in here. So update scene will go over to the other one because it just interacts with the scene, and then we call setup scene again, which will get the latest scene item and go into there. So splitting these out should be pretty straightforward, and it'll make um, both services much easier to understand because all scene service setup scene does is write to ThreeJS, and all the ThreeJS service will do is write to ThreeJS, and all the TypeScript, Showtime one we'll be writing to this stuff. So, anyways, I hope everyone's doing well. I know these are weird times. We are looks like we're getting going into the into some weird seasonal um, times, and I hope everyone's feeling okay. Happy coding, everybody. Bye.